Hey there, folks. Welcome to another live stream, and I'm once again joined by my very good friend, Matt, Ramboraph4life. Thank you once again for joining me on another stream. Um,
No problem. Thanks for having me.
yeah, as you can see by the title, we're going to talk about some trailers, and then we're going to talk about a few films from 1987, as well as answer, some of your questions and stuff like that. So let's dive right into it. We found a leak, uh,
It's a
and
sort of leak. This is a piss take.
yeah, exactly. It might
This
as
is a
well be
giant
that
piss
kind of
take.
leak. We found a leak for the new Prey, which yeah,
Pray for this franchise again.
yeah, exactly. Pray for
Yeah,
this
the
franchise the end.
a nice guy on Facebook sent me. It was a small video because it was deleted by Disney,
Of course it was.
and
They should just delete the movie and not just be like, this is bad. Let's just shelve it.
yeah, it's a full trailer for Prey. And
Hmm.
then there's another guy who he reacted to it. I think he said he'll get rid of the video so that Disney doesn't flag it, but it'll be up for like
Yeah.
a day. But it showed like the full. He didn't talk during it. It showed the
Uh-huh.
full thing.
He didn't have this whole like, oh, he wasn't coming throughout the entire trailer.
I don't know why anyone would because that Prey actual trailer that was direct to video shit.
Yes, direct to video, made for cable. No wonder
No
this is
one
streaming.
going to Hulu.
Yeah.
No wonder it's going to Hulu.
I hated that trailer. Like right from the beginning, you have a quote that's just infuriating. So you have the female lead, who's this hunter chick, and it seems like a bunch of her fellow tribes people are like, why do you want to hunt? And then she's all like, because you all think I can't. And I was like,
I'm telling you, it's the gender politics stuff again.
I know. I
And
know you didn't love Top Gun Maverick as much as I did.
I
But
liked it though. I didn't
but I
mind it.
know that you definitely did appreciate the fact that it wasn't just another gender politics thing. Because it could have been.
Yeah.
They could have done something with Phoenix and have her be like, oh, I'm so much better than all you men.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Um, I just don't think it's the best sequel ever made. Like some people
I
kind
don't think it's the best
it's
sequel ever
okay.
made either, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the
But
actresses are great, but it's better than this Prey trailer.
yeah, for sure. Um, and then it's just what you get is a whole lot of nothing. It looks cheap. It definitely looks like it was made on a very low budget. This 80-pound chick, she goes and tries to hunt a bear.
A badly CGI bear.
Yeah. And she doesn't even succeed in doing that. The predator takes the bear out and saves her scrawny ass. And
Which, by the
then,
way, before
mm-hmm.
that didn't make sense to me. Where why would the predator kill a bear behind its back that's chasing a girl when the predator either kills for sport or kills on a one-on-one basis? Why would it be like, I'm going to cheap shot you, kill you in the back, even though you're not going after me, and then I'm raising, oh, I'm so good. I'm like, you shot a crappy looking CGI bear in the back. That how is that sporting?
Yeah, I mean that is a good point.
And why is he
Maybe
helping the girl? Is
maybe
he
they maybe
hungry?
they maybe there's some context to it. Maybe he was hunting the bear prior to him,
But she
I
was
guess,
staring at it,
getting
and
the killing blow.
but she was staring at it and was shooting arrows at it.
Yeah, you're right.
And
You're right.
was the
Even with
predator
that,
jerking off to it? He has a fan
um,
fetish.
maybe I don't know, but yeah, that's a good point. That isn't really true to the predator's nature or to what where their code is. So that was a little off. But okay, the predator saves her ass, and then you see random shots of her getting ready and throwing a tomahawk into a tree.
Not only that, but she has a tomahawk with a line on it, and that
Mhm.
goes back as if she's a damn martial artist. Like
Yeah,
one of
I
those
know.
martial arts thing.
Yeah.
It's not just a tomahawk. The girl in Prey has a tomahawk that she throws, and she pulls it back as if she's
Hmm.
Kratos from God of War.
Yeah. And her throwing the tomahawk just reminds me of LDP in Young Guns. I'm like, can we just get Chavez versus the Predator? I'd rather watch that fucking movie.
It'd be more believable than a 50-pound lady.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah,
Which if she's
pray for this franchise to end.
yeah.
And then other stuff like you get a predator running through a field, which we kind of saw that in Predators. So it's a similar kind of thing.
It reminded me of the Lost World when the raptors are going
Oh
through
yeah,
the
I
field.
just watched The Lost World recently too. I just watched that today.
And I told you it was a bunch of white guys and they get killed.
Yeah,
I said that
the
because
white guys with the guns.
they all
Probably a
get
bunch of
killed.
fur trappers or some shit.
Yeah, I said it, and it did let me down on that.
Nope.
All the guys are going to be useless, and especially the white guys. But all the guys are going to be useless, and
I mean, even have that scene where she's talking to one of the guys in the tribe. She's like, "We need to get ready. You need to do something. You know, it's coming." It's like, "What? I'm fine. There's nothing. There's nothing to worry about."
well, no, he's asking. I need to come with you. It's like why? And it's like because I'll keep you safe or I'll save
Oh,
you.
okay.
I forgot
I thought it was one of those things where she was trying to, warn him, and he's like, "What?"
well, she is warning him,
Yeah.
but let me see,
Yeah, I
I'll
think
get
there was a scene where she warns the guy. The guy's like, "What? Why should I be worried? Why should I? I'll keep you safe," or something like that.
who fucking knows, man.
And
People
for a
love
Predator
him.
trailer, like where is the Predator? Like there's that
Well,
one scene with the Predator with a tomahawk.
well, yeah, it flips it
Yeah.
to be stylish, I guess. It hits
Hmm.
someone, and then
I
at
guess
the
the
end.
Predator's a big fan of TJ Laser. It's just
I'm just trying to find the quote because I wanted to be clear on it.
hmm.
Oh,
I mean there
he says you can't come, and she goes, "I've tried to protect you."
oh. Okay.
Because only the labia can protect you.
Apparently.
Prey. Someone's asking. A new trailer for Prey was leaked and then deleted, but there's a guy that has it on his channel, and it's the full trailer to the new Predator film Prey. And like I said, if you want to see a CGI bear get killed from behind from the Predator, because the Predator gets pussy for that, and it doesn't care about sport. If you want to see an 80-pound woman think she's a badass, because a commando team in Arnold couldn't do it, but this lady can do it with a tomahawk with a line on it, as if she's wannabe Kratos from fucking God of War.
Yeah.
And if you want to see a lot of gender politics of you can't come, I'm trying to protect you. Why you want to do this? Because you said I can't.
Or you want to see quotes from like the first movie repeated again, like whatever did this, I can kill it. Like, that sounds like the kind of shit you would hear in like a Predator ripoff. You know, like, oh, we can't say if it bleeds, we can kill it because, you know, that'll be a total copy, and that'll be copyright infringement. But
Of
we
course
can
she
say
knows.
something like that.
Of course she knows. Script says it.
So yeah, that was bad. And it was short, but it was still really shitty. Yeah, in the words of
And
Matt
let's direct the
Wise.
video. It streams direct to video. There's a reason why this film's not coming to theaters. That film looks cheap. Cheap CGI. I don't give a crap. That's directed from the guy who did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
A film that a lot of people don't even fucking remember. Aiden Lawrence says the Predator has every advantage. This film will be a joke. Truly unbelievable that this was thought of as a good idea. I agree. I mean, yeah, the Predator does have every advantage here.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I don't think they know what the hell the Predator lore is. Again, for what I understand, like I said, the Predator's not just go kill a bear. There's nothing sporting about that. And then, oh, look what I did, Ma. I'm like, you didn't do shit. You just killed a creature behind his back, unless you were really hungry, and then it looked like you're saved. That was like the first thing, and I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, it's just not a good look.
Just it streams direct to video. It's direct to video.
Do we see AVP 3 coming?
No.
No. I want to see the AVP anime that's already finished. Just fucking release it already. God damn it.
Well, let me backtrack. It's Disney.
Yeah. They probably will do it eventually.
I mean, the Alien... If they're doing an Alien movie and TV show on Hulu... They're doing this Predator movie, which looks like, again... I've seen direct-to-video films back to the day that look better. Fucking DNA with Mark Dacascos. And
I agree.
It just...
And Mark Dacascos can actually believably kick some ass.
Yeah. I actually buy Mark Dacascos, not this. Oh, another thing with the Predator, this one has like a skull.
Yeah.
On its face now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay. All right. I mean, it is what it is. Trying to think what else is in that trailer.
As she gets covered in mud, so they're just doing that thing again, where she's just gonna cover herself in mud to try to hide from it.
Yeah,
like Arnold did in the first
well, of course.
movie. And Adrian Brody's character did in Predators.
Well, of course. There's no crate. I mean, yeah, I'm. How about let's just not make any more?
Fuck that trailer.
You know, it's Disney. It's Disney. They milk anything and everything. That's just
yeah. Yeah, I agree, Eric. Yeah, we've had enough Predator movies. Yeah, we're good. Unless you're gonna do an animated series or something, or actually adapt the Dark Horse comics. I keep bringing that up because they are some legitimately good stories, and they're well written, and it's Predator related, and it's right there. It'd be a lot easier to adapt those comics or those storylines than it would be to just create some new shit.
Well, I mean, they say if you don't like the trailer, you're sexist, or
fuck off.
Well, how come you like Ripley and Aliens? What's the difference?
Because Ripley is a strong character and she's likable. There's no reason from this trailer for me to like this 80-pound Native American chick. With the first line that comes out of her mouth being, I am a strong, independent woman, and I can hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew. Yeah, it won't be as good as Watchers 2. Hell, it won't be as good as The Terror Within 2. So I got nothing else to say about Prey, but how about this transitions into another Disney property? I did see the trailer for Willow, the teaser trailer for Disney's new Willow show.
Yeah, checklist the movie.
Yeah, I love Willow, but
We
this
got the
looked,
black person, we got the
yeah,
lesbians.
this reminded me of like the Ring of Power, the trailer for that, and that's
I
not
didn't
a
see
good
that one.
thing.
I didn't see
Not a
that
good
one.
thing.
What was the
Because
deal with
that
that
was
trailer?
Checklist. Well, that was like Checklist the movie. We've got well, I think there's like a gay elf or something like that. We've got elves with short hairs. We've got a black short hair. We got a black elf. You know, all the representation.
Aren't all elves gay?
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I'm just kidding, folks.
Um, but yeah, Willow. I love Willow. It's one of my favorite films. It's might be my favorite fantasy movie. I don't give a shit about this new Willow show. I can already see it doing stuff where Willow's not really gonna be like the main character. He's just gonna be on the side, and there'll be these new characters that'll come in and take most of the focus and take most of the story
Oh, you
in
mean like
terms of,
Obi-Wan?
yeah, like Obi-Wan or like
Everything.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, everything I've heard about Obi-Wan, um, they he's in the back seat, and there's this one lady who gets more of the screen time, and
Of
it's more about her
course.
character. And then if
Yeah,
you say
I see
something,
Willow
you're
being a similar
racist.
thing. It's gonna be that one short haired butch looking character who looks like a 14-year-old boy. That's who's gonna be the main character in Willow. How much you want to bet? And like nothing about it looked cheap too, like really cheap at times. Like there was not much of a budget behind it. Like the CGI looked like shit. It was nice to see some practical stuff like that creature, but even that wasn't shot in the right way, so it looked fake. And
Well, Kathleen Kennedy's behind it, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think she is actually. So
It's dead.
yeah. It's fucked. Yeah. It's destroyed.
And they said Val Kilmer's going to be in it, but I don't know with his health how he would be in it.
I don't even remember hearing that.
I read it up somewhere that
Oh.
Matt Martin will be in it, but I'm like, if he's that
How the
ill,
hell is he how the heck is he gonna be, and what is he ever gonna do? How is he gonna do anything?
die
Fuck,
in the movie.
please. No, don't kill Val Kilmer off in like every last film that he's in.
Matt Martin's going to sacrifice himself for Willow or something. Would you be surprised if they did that?
No, I would not be surprised at all if they did that.
Maybe they won't. Hey, maybe they won't. Maybe they learned a thing. But I'm just saying, if they did, don't say
I mean, also the
surprised.
teaser, like there was none of the same spectacle or magic that Willow had. The action, like where is any of that? Like none of the action sequences or sword fights or anything in that trailer looked remotely fun, let alone thrilling.
Because we got politics and
They're definitely not going to have scenes where anyone calls a dwarf a peck. That's definitely not going to happen because that's politically incorrect. Yeah, true fire pink guy. Yeah, the biggest Disney villain is Disney themselves.
And then some.
Disney's gonna mess up Deadpool 3, bet it's PG-13. I don't think it's gonna be PG-13, and I think they're already kind of backtracking on some stuff because I read an article that the two writers from Deadpool 1 and 2, like they are back and they are working on Deadpool 3 now.
Do you think what brand would be under? Because I doubt it would have the Disney logo in front if it's rated R.
It'd be Fox. probably be Fox.
Oh, they just put 20th Century Studios.
Yeah, it'd be 20th Century Studios.
Gotta say that
Or
now.
it would be a Marvel. And it would just say Marvel.
I'm surprised they're not turning into a TV show.
Yeah.
Since they're doing everything else a TV show.
I mean, if they're gonna do that, I would love to see an animated series with Deadpool, because then you could like go crazy with it and do all kinds of stuff that you can't really necessarily do.
Or it'll be What If.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I've heard some less than stellar things about that show.
I mean, who knows? It may be a surprise. I mean, hell, Mike hasn't seen the film. I have, and a lot of people are like, "What the fuck?" I liked the new Rescue Rangers movie.
I want to see that. I'm gonna see that. I got a lot of days off coming up pretty soon, so I'll probably check that out on one of those days, because I liked the trailer. I thought it looked creative and fun.
And I won't spoil it for Mike. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was better than it has any right to be. It's not turning the new wheel, but I thought of all the films that try to be Roger Rabbit, I thought this was one of the better ones. I liked it better than Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah, Back in Action. I was about to mention that one, or Space Jam: A New Legacy with its dated movie references. And
I know there are people that got mad at how meta it is, but I thought this was meta done the right way.
Yeah.
And people got mad of all the references, but yeah, I thought this was done better than Space Jam: New Legacy. Does it fit here? Space Jam 2 was like, oh, there's the characters from A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, there's the nun from The Devils. You're like, what the fuck? You have like a character from The Devils? A Ken Russell film?
Like, here's one of the characters of Mammoth Fury Road, which the story is about a guy wanting his bitches back.
I know.
Him back to
I know, exactly.
Yeah. What do you think the bad guy wants? And that's a rated R movie.
Speaking of animation, that can be a good transition into the next trailer. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah. It was good. I liked it. It felt in the same vibe of Do America.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere because I thought they were doing that thing with the kids. But I guess they're doing
I think they might have that for like maybe another movie or maybe like the TV show. I don't know 100% for sure. But I'm really glad that at least we're getting this movie, which is not doing that, because I'm not really excited or at all interested in Beavis and Butthead's kids. I'm not interested in that show. This was fun. It definitely looked like Mike Judge hasn't lost it. I mean, still got the same passion for these characters. The writers that are involved, probably Mike Judge is definitely one of them. And they still get these characters. Like, they haven't changed, which is great. It'll be refreshing to see some politically incorrect humor again from Mike Judge and company.
Yeah, it didn't look too bad at all.
Maybe the aliens are the ones with the kids, the aliens from the trailer.
No, I don't know. Mike's right. I think they're doing with all this stuff, it's like South Park. They did movies, then they're doing their show. I think they're doing the same with all these properties.
And South Park's they're doing another movie too for Paramount Plus. And they're gonna like, I guess it's gonna be like a satire and a take on streaming. Like, it's gonna attack streaming, which that could be fun. Yeah, it's good to know Beavis and Butthead, it won't be fucked over like Bill and Ted. And fuck the music. And that still gets a pass from a lot of people. Like, I saw a list that somebody made from some website where they're talking about one good sequel and one bad sequel. And one of the examples of a good sequel, legacy sequel, I think, because they were talking about Top Gun Maverick, was Bill and Ted Face the Music. And I'm like, how the fuck is that a good example of a legacy sequel?
Because it was a hit that people liked.
I definitely didn't like it. I know you didn't like it, and I love Bill and Ted. The first two are some of my favorite movies, and I hated that movie. I hated that film.
Yeah,
Everything that I didn't want out of another Bill and Ted.
it retconned the ending of the second film. It made them inconsequential. They
Hmm.
went on a bogus trip, pun intended,
Yeah.
where they just saw versions of themselves that are just more and more dickish.
Yeah, or just
And
losers.
their daughters went through the first two movies in like the time of one movie.
Yep.
Literally the same.
And Bill and Ted, they did the same stuff where Bill and Ted are a bunch of pathetic losers who didn't write the song to save the world, and their band didn't really go on to do that much. They were just kind of a one-hit wonder. And by the end of the film, like yeah, they do the stuff where they clone each other and do all that, but really it's their daughters that did the majority of the work.
Yeah.
And then even with the music itself sucks. Like, this is supposed to be the song that saved the world. It
Well, all of
wasn't
you.
God Gave Rock and Roll to You 2 from Bogus Journey. It was this fucking ear bleedingly awful
Well, all the
remix of just random fucking notes and instruments.
well, all the music in that movie sucked.
Yeah.
And not only that, it makes no sense if you watch the first one where the daughter was never the plan. Then why the hell are they seeing the future where it's Bill and Ted by themselves?
Yeah.
No
I
daughter
know.
in sight.
I know.
Two fucking movies. It's just the two of them doing this.
I know. And the statues of the two of them, you know?
Yeah, with the you know the with the
Yeah, be excellent to each other. Yeah.
yeah, that's all in the future. What is the? Oh, we didn't see it because you had to turn the camera, and they be over there. No, it was retcon BS to I don't know.
Folks, if you're a fan of Bill and Ted and you
Tickle their
want to see like
balls.
more Bill and Ted that's done in a much more respectful way, pick up the Bill and Ted comics by I think Boom Studios. I think the same people who worked on or Dynamite. I forgot exactly who it was, but there were some Bill and Ted sequels, like Bill and Ted. I think Save the Universe. That was one of them. Pick those up, and they even like with Death. Like Death was fucked over too. This whole like, oh, he was just a bitter, jealous asshole or whatever, or he was playing the bass and he was doing solos that were too long, and then that's what caused Bill and Ted to get mad at him, and they broke up.
You
Stupid.
got a super chat.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for the donation. Would it be great if Nick Cage starred in a Godzilla film, since he is a big fan of Godzilla?
Human terrors don't really get a lot to do in those movies.
No.
I mean, and
Unless he's going to get exposed to radiation and it's like a 50-foot tall Nick Cage fighting Godzilla.
I mean, I've seen weirder Nick Cage films, so
You could just have the whole
maybe.
stuff from Firebirds where he's, I am the greatest! I am the greatest! I'm the king of monsters now! I fucking yeah!
Fucking Fireburst. That's another thing we disagree on.
I know, I like that film. He's scraping at the door. Yeah.
It's funny, True Fire Pink. Obviously, they were trained to high voltage with Jason Statham. We had that Godzilla.
Yeah.
I remember
A
that.
50-foot Nick Cage would be terrifying. Yeah, it sure would be. That's for sure. Might even be scarier and more terrifying than Godzilla.
That'd be a sequel of Con Air, Cameron Poe versus Godzilla. Fly the
Actually, it
plane
might be
right into
kind of
his mouth.
fun.
Fly the plane. Get the plane right into his eyes.
Godzilla takes the bunny rabbit.
I'm going to save the fucking day.
This is from True Fire Pink Guy. Which one is worse, Bill and Ted Face the Music or the Jane Silent Bob reboot?
Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to show you God exists. And it's not Godzilla. I mean, I don't know. You haven't seen Reboot. I've seen both.
I saw the trailer and it looked terrible.
I will say Face the Music is worse because I have more nostalgia for Bill and Ted, and I think that should have been a lot better. Kevin Smith has been bad for a long time. And
yeah, speaking of Kevin Smith, I didn't mention this to you before, but I don't know if you've heard of this. There's like a Kevin Smith book that's going to be coming out sometime this year.
Does he cry in it?
It's just like multiple pages of him
tears.
making cry. Just tears.
Every page has a teardrop. Every page just has another tear, like a fingerprint.
No,
instead of an autograph, it's just tears. And every book comes with a box of tissues.
No, it's made by a fan, I think. So it goes through his filmography. So it's one of those kind of books.
Mm.
Similar to like the Die Hard, like Ultimate Visual History, that kind of thing.
I'll be glad not to read it.
I mean,
I got those canon books, and I haven't read those.
Oh,
those look
you got the second one? Because I know that one's like really expensive.
I got it. I think $30. It was down.
Oh, okay. So it must have
let me see,
gone down. Because I have volume 1. I haven't gotten volume 2 yet. Cool. Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely thicker.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
Almost 1,000 pages.
Considering how long my comments are, if I ever did get around to writing the book, it would be probably pretty freaking long too.
Like Delta Force 2.
Nice. That's
cool. That's a Delta Force 2 poster.
Yeah.
It's not in the movie, I mean, but
no, there's not like multiple attack helicopters. Hey Matt, if Firebirds was like that, then you would be a fan of Firebirds, right?
Yeah. I'd definitely be more.
Chuck Norris versus just an army of Apache helicopters.
Yes.
And the bird is like him just flipping the bird as he's like blowing them up with fucking rocket launchers and shit. I know, yeah, when they thought it was going to be Chuck Norris.
While you're talking, I'll just show some of this for the audience to give a visual.
Oh, okay. I don't know about any more trailers that I can think of. Hey there, Predator. Yeah, I did hear about Chucky 1 through 3, Child's Play 1 through 3 coming to 4K. It's about fucking time. We're finally gonna get the Child's Play sequels with collector's editions, and they're gonna be in 4K. So the wait was worth it.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just 4K, but it is a 4K Blu-ray combo.
Yeah, they would be dumb not to do that. Like that's what they've been doing lately with a lot of their latest releases. Is they've been coming out with 4K, but with an extra Blu-ray. So people who don't have 4K can still watch the movies and watch the features, and there's a reason for them to America 3000. That fucking movie, man. Now I don't think the features have been announced yet, so I don't know what they're going to do. I'm hoping that because of this long wait, like they're actually going to deliver when it comes to the features for Child's Play 2 and 3 at least. What are your thoughts on the Child's Play upcoming collector's editions, Matt?
I mean, like I said before, at first I thought it was just a 4K, which I may not have 4K thanks to you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But it's cool that it's a 4K Blu-ray combo. I mean, the first film is cool, but I'm just glad the second and third film have special editions.
Well, yeah, because the first film, I think it's really cool because the first film was out of print now, I think. So
okay. Now it's only you have to buy all three, right?
No, you can buy them separately.
Okay, I thought it said like you have to buy the 3-pack. Kind of like the
No, that's in order to get the extra slip covers and some of the extra bonus stuff. But you can buy them. The Screen Factory would be fucking insane if they didn't allow the buy them separately option. That would, because they'll probably be on Amazon.
It was a Screen Factory, but like, that was why with Karate Kid 1 through 3. It was you have to buy.
Yeah, I don't. Screen Factory doesn't normally do that unless it's a box set of like all the movies. So like if they did Nightmare on Elm Street, then it would be like you'd have to buy the box set. I'm looking forward to Child's Play 1 through 3 and 4K more than Friday the 13th 4K from Paramount, because it's probably going to be bare bones and not have much of anything. And the transfer was good enough on the Screen Factory box set. I don't need that in 4K. Yeah, speaking of 4K, I did. That's how I revisited Jurassic Park and the Lost World recently, and with my new surround sound setup, which I'm absolutely enamored with. It's a Vizio Elevate like 5.1.4 system, soundbar, subwoofer, rears. I have it set up where I have the rear speakers like right behind my head when I'm laying in bed watching these movies, and it's like immersive and insane. I mean, I watched Blue Thunder, and it was thunderous. And Blue Thunder is a great movie, by the way, folks. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen that one yet. Oh, Aaron Norris, Delta Force. That never happened.
No, the deli doesn't.
But yeah, Blue Thunder, classic, great movie. Catch you later.
Yeah, I always loved Blue Thunder. Very underrated film. And film no one talks about. It has some really solid helicopter sequences.
Yeah, real helicopter stunts too in a real city.
And I want to say it was before Airwolf. Could be wrong.
Yeah, it was. There was also a Blue Thunder TV show.
Yeah, with Dana Carvey. But that's why did Airwolf I think he was inspired by Blue Thunder.
Yeah, essentially Airwolf ripped off Blue Thunder. Let's just be honest. It just fucking it just ripped it off. And Airwolf is more well known by a lot of people than Blue Thunder.
And for folks wondering, that is technically American Ninja 3, actually.
Pred, no, I don't have acoustic treatment, but it's such a good setup that it doesn't really matter, because the way that I have things set up, like it still sounds absolutely spectacular. And the system was like $900 brand new, and I got it for like $400. Yeah, Star Trek 5 and 6 are coming to 4K this September. Okay. But they're just doing it like, okay, now I'm kind of miffed, to say the least, at Paramount. Like, really? Like, you released a box set of the first 4, and now you're just going to be like, oh, Star Trek 5, are you going to release them separately? Like, why don't you just, like, release 5, 6, and the rest of the Next Generation films in one box set? You're just going to release 5 and 6? Are you going to release them as a 2-pack? Because that would be really fucking annoying.
If it
No,
makes
watch.
more money, it probably will.
They will release them separately. That's what they'll do. They'll release them separately in 4K, and then I'll have this eyesore of a box set with the first 4. No, they'll release they will re-release the first 4 in 4K separately, which they should have done in the first place, and then they'll release Star Trek 5 and 6 separately, because they've been doing that with Indiana Jones. They did that. They've been doing that with the Indiana Jones films recently, releasing them separately in steel books with the original poster art. So, yeah.
Steve Winberg, Michael
Reese,
Campbell.
yeah, Watchmen already had a 4K as far as I know, unless you're talking about Titans of Colt. Oh, that's probably what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. They're pretty expensive, if I remember correctly. No, Johnny, we haven't discussed the films of 1987 yet. We're going to get to that pretty soon. So you haven't missed out on that. How would I rank the Die Hard films? Well, first film for me is number 1. Second film for me is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Third is I really like Live Free or Die Hard, but Die Hard 2 is also really great. I'll probably go with Die Hard 2, then I'll go with Die Hard 4, and then I'll round out the list with Die Hard 5.
Pretty similar. 1, 3. I'll go with 1, 3, 4, 2, then 5.
Oh, okay. What? Did I hear about Cocaine Bear? Is that the bear in the Prey train? Elizabeth Banks is directing about a black bear going on a murderous rampage after overdosing on cocaine.
Is the bear going to be played by Amber
Heard? And by the way, fuck Amber Heard.
Amber Heard.
I am so glad that Johnny won. I was worried that he wasn't going to in today's day and age where, just because you're female, even if you're guilty and even if all the signs point to you being full of shit, the jury will side with you because, Me Too and all that. So I'm really glad that Johnny won.
Well, she's trying to get an appeal because she can't afford to pay the shit.
Well, if I remember correctly, I read something where she can't appeal it. So she's just screwed. Gotta find some goddamn money.
She can't even pay for an appeal.
No.
She can't even pay to do. Just take the L and move on. I'd say.
So yeah, Cocaine Bear. No, it's not about Amber Heard, but I'm curious about it. I don't know how that's gonna make for
it's about Melissa McCarthy.
A consistently good feature film just about a bear that's high on cocaine, but
it's gonna be a bad CGI bear.
Yeah,
around.
It'll be like that movie that's coming out with Idris Elba.
Beast.
Just
someone who asked about that with the lion. I thought it looked pretty terrible because the lion. I liked Idris Elba and Sharlto Copley, but the lion just go back.
Yeah,
I mean, the Ghost in the Darkness even did that.
I know
better.
And the Ghost in the Darkness had a lot of like real lions at times, but then it would also have like practical effects by Stan Winston, if I remember correctly. Got another super chat. Thank you, Bobby. Would I rather Masters Universe with Dolph Lundgren or the Kevin Smith He-Man?
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren any day of the goddamn week. It's not even a contest.
I hate to say it. I mean, I have issues with that film, but I don't even hate that film anymore. And Bobby, I did get your request. He actually requested me to review that, and it will not be a rant because I'm like, I have issues with it. because of Tannen's cheapness, but
Yeah.
Frank Langella owns the role.
Yeah, he's so good at Skeletor.
The music is really good by Bill Conti.
Yeah.
And Dolph, despite his limited vocabulary, his rough start, he was a good He-Man. He fit.
Yeah.
He had the right look. And I mean, I've seen much worse.
Dolph's not the problem. Frank Langella's not the problem. I even don't mind the two teenagers. Like Wildor is a fucking problem. I hate that character. It's annoying as fuck, but
I agree with that. Yeah, Cordy Cox is one of the teens. Yeah, I mean it's at the very least a time waster, which is better than anything Kevin Smith is doing.
No, Pred, never attended a Monster Palooza. That would be awesome. I would love to go to a convention with Matt. That would be an awesome dream come true. But at this point, I'll just settle with a couple weeks during some summer if I could afford some tickets and just get him over here like that. And maybe we could go on a road trip and drive to Seattle and go check out Scarecrow Video like that. That's like that's something that I think is a little more realistic at the moment. Yeah, did Michael's asking you about the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey?
I don't really get what it is. Is it a parody? Is it a? I guess it would have to, otherwise they get sued, right?
Yeah,
it's a fan film.
I think it's going to be a fan film. That's what makes the most sense to me because it's not officially sanctioned.
Yeah, they would get sued if it was. I mean, it would never. Disney would never say yes to it, so it would have to get like.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about some trailers, we've answered some questions. Now
he says Winnie the Pooh is public domain.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, never mind then. Okay.
How the hell did that happen?
I guess Disney didn't bother to buy back the rights or something.
Okay. Someone definitely capitalized on it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now that we talked about some trailers and we've answered some questions in the chat, let's just take a look at some of these titles from 1987. 40 years ago, right? Is it 30? 30 or 40?
97, 07, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 22. So 35 years ago.
35 years ago. Not quite 40. We're not that old yet.
Not yet.
But 35 years ago. And to me, this was a really underrated year. There's a lot of really fun films, a lot of great gems from this year. Adventures in Babysitting. I had some fun with that one. I like Elizabeth Shue in it. It's not one of my favorites, but it's an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It kind of has a little John Hughes feel to it.
Yeah.
It's better than the remake or the wannabe remake, The Sitter, with Jonah Hill.
Or the actual remake.
Yeah. Elizabeth Shue was good. The kids were not too annoying.
I really like Keith Coogan in it.
Funny bits. Don't fuck with the Lords of Hell. Don't fuck with the babysitter.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining family film with a little bit of edge to it, but still tonally consistent.
Yeah, and a very young, what is it, Vincent D'Onofrio? Is that who it is?
As the girl thinks it's Thor, because she's a Thor fan.
Yeah, that was like one of the first appearances of Thor, like in any film, like not officially, but it was, Marvel did sanction the character to be included in the movie. Alan Quartermain and Lost City of Gold. It's a low budget canon film, but I have fun with it. I like King Solomon's Mines more, but I still have fun with Alan Quartermain, A Lost City of Gold, with Richard Chamberlain and Sharon Stone.
Yeah, it's average film. It's definitely a step down from
Mm-hmm.
Teen Solomon's Mines. It's one of those things where it's funny in the trailer.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Like the trailer has stuff in it that I don't think is actually in the movie.
No, because it was too much like Indiana Jones because he's using a whip.
Yeah.
So they thought, and there's even a bit. Yeah, they were using a whip, and they thought, yeah, that's a bit too much like Indiana Jones.
Well, there was another bit too where there was, I think some people were like trapped behind bars or something, and maybe that was the bit with the whip. That might have been the bit with the whip that involved like them being trapped behind bars and then him using the whip to get away or whatever.
After giving everyone a 2-week break following the completion of Teen Solomon's Mines, Cannon rolled right into the production of Alan Quartermain, The Lost City of Gold.
Of course. All right.
A 2-week break.
That's a wrap. We're gonna go on a 2-week vacation, and then we're gonna start shooting the sequel. And they're like, "What? Wait, what? Yeah, 2 weeks." And then we're gonna start doing Alan Quartermain and The Lost City of Gold, King Solomon's Mines 2. So be there. 2 weeks.
And it
from now.
definitely had a lower budget than Teen Solomon's Mines.
Which didn't even have that big of a budget to begin with compared to a lot of other films that came out the year that it came out in.
Like even the music, it's great. Jerry goes with music, but they just reused the music from the first over and over and over.
But yeah, that score is really underrated, though. Jerry Goldsmith's score for King Solomon's Mines.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other like sort of interesting stuff. I haven't seen this yet, but I've always been kind of curious about it. Like Amazing Grace and Chuck. It's a film directed by Mike Newell. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, as well as Gregory Peck, William L. Peterson, Alex English, who I think is a basketball player.
Yeah, a basketball player is factored into the story.
Yeah, it deals with like the Cold War.
Like kid's worried about nuclear war, and he writes, and a basketball player like answers, and creates like a media frenzy.
Yeah, it's like it sounds like a much better and more compelling take on that Jeremy subplot in Superman 4.
Oh,
which came out in 1987. Amazon Women on the Moon. I enjoyed that one. I think it's a fun flick. I actually think that's a pretty underrated one as well, because a lot of people don't talk about it. I've got a very early performance by Andrew Dice Clay in there. Got some really clever bits, like the stuff with Arsenio Hall and the fucking just this poor guy. He just wants to relax after like a hard day at work, and it just can't even drink a beer or a soda. Just sprays everywhere. Can't even sit down and watch a VHS tape or watch TV.
Who's Andrew Dice Clay in it?
He's in the last segment, the dating segment.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, he plays the boyfriend of the girl that the guy is having a relationship with.
Yeah, the video date with Mark McClure.
Yeah, the video date with Mark McClure, and then the boyfriend is who's about to kick his ass is Andrew Dice Clay.
I remember that. That was fun.
Some of the segments are stronger than others. Like I agree, I'm not really big into like the fake movie stuff. I don't think that's as strong as the other bits. But yeah, or the Arsenio Hall bit just kills me. It's just great physical comedy by Arsenio Hall. And just sitting down to watch a movie. The VCR spits the tape out, hits him in the face. We've all had days like that where it's like, you know, you get back from a rough day and just seems like you can't relax. Everything just goes fucking haywire. Oh, and then the video pirate segment, which was ahead of its time, if you think about it. Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Amazon Women on the Moon. does have some amazing moments of comedy for the time. American Ninja 2, The Confrontation, my favorite American Ninja movie. Really enjoy that one. Got a
Mine
great
too.
duel at the end with Dudikov and the villain. Uh, nice bits of action. Good score. Nice
Yeah,
direction by Sam Furstenberg.
I would say it's my favorite as well. I thought I liked the location in the Caribbean. I thought that was a nice different
Mm-hmm.
direction for it. I liked Steve James felt like he had a bit more to do, at least
Yeah,
screen time wise,
yeah.
and that was a bit plus. And yeah, I did enjoy the score by George S. Clinton,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the actresses were fun, very satisfying.
Yeah, Chaz, I miss Steve James too. Like, I think he could have transitioned into more dramatic stuff, or maybe gotten a role in like a TV show. If he was still around, I think he could have easily transitioned into something like that.
Yeah, the bar fight in the movie is definitely one of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party. Steve James just a lot of fun in that.
Yeah. Um, Angel Heart. What are your thoughts on that one? Because I've gotten some shit from people because I wasn't a huge fan of it. Oh, you
Well,
didn't get it, or
well,
you need to
before
read
that,
the novel or whatever. Okay, go ahead.
let me read this about American Ninja
Mm-hmm.
2. The original script came from Derry Conway, and he brought the early screenplay for what became Over the Top because he wanted to
Oh.
star in it. But then they
Hmm.
passed Derry Conway in favor of bigger name star Sylvester Stallone. But the producers kept him close to write the second and third American Ninja movies
Mm-hmm.
and played the bad guy in the second film, Leo the Lion Burke. So he's the villain in the second.
Oh. Okay. Huh.
But yeah, Angel Heart. What was the crap you were giving you about? I thought it was decent film.
Yeah, the guy was giving me shit because I didn't like praise it to high heaven, that kind of stuff. Where I liked it, I thought it was okay, but I wasn't in love with the movie, that kind of thing. So it was like, well, you just didn't get it, or you need to read the novel. It's like, I don't have if a film needs me to like do extra research or extra work in order for it to be good, then it's not that good. It's not as good as you think it is. I'm sorry.
Well, what would you give it out of
Like a
5?
three, like three for me. Like, I thought it was okay.
I
I
think that's
I I
fair.
I think it's got some good performances, and it definitely has some good work by Mickey Rourke and De Niro,
Mm-hmm.
and even Lisa Bonet. I think Alan Parker's direction is very atmospheric and good, and I wasn't as surprised by the twist. I guess I saw it coming, and it wasn't really that shocking, and I really would have liked a little bit more of a compelling and interesting mystery. Like, it just felt like they were trying to go in that angle, and then it was just a little too obvious, and then I don't know. It's one of those kind of films for me. And also, like, the character, it had issues with, like, there was no character in the film where I was like, I really like this character, and I want to see this character make it out in the end and get through this hell and whatever. And I know that's the point, but it just felt like it was a little too oppressive at times
Mm.
because of the way that these characters are written.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I like the film. But
Mm-hmm.
3 out of 5 is a fair rating. Got some nice mood and atmosphere. I knew what the ending would be, but I thought it was an effective what it needed to be. I
Yeah.
just the way it's shot, but yeah, I mean, I would put Jacob's Ladder above it. I would put
Well, I mean, also the stuff with like Cypher. I
The
mean, come
Believers
on,
above it.
like it's so obvious
Well, yeah,
that
Louis
he's.
Cipher, Lucifer. His name is Louis Cipher. I mean, you have to know it's Lucifer.
Yeah. But yeah, Johnny, yeah, it is. It's a decent film. It does have some disturbing moments. I don't know if I would say I prefer the Devil's Advocate. Maybe because the Devil's Advocate does have like some better characters, but it also has its own issues with pacing. But I love Al Pacino in that. He's an absentee landlord. So Angel Heart, Assassination is a lame Charles Bronson movie. Like that came out in '87 as well. I mean,
Which one?
Assassination with Charles
I
Bronson.
remember.
You know, the one where he's like a Secret Service guy or
Oh,
something.
his wife at the time was
Yeah,
that?
yeah, Jill Ireland.
Yeah, that was a pretty forgettable in the
Yeah.
era of Bronson. I mean, it's just when you do watch The Evil Dead Men Do, you do watch Death Wish 3, you do watch 10 to Midnight, Murphy's Law. There's just other better recommendations than Assassination. I thought it was in one ear, out the other.
Yeah. Average.
Mm-hmm.
Next one I want to talk about is Back to the Beach because it's such a bizarre movie. Like, who thought that this was a good idea? Who thought that this was something that audiences wanted to see? It's a comedy that is a parody of 60s beach party movies, and it came out in 1987. So, and Paramount, I guess, thought that this was going to be like a big deal. And the film had a lot of covers of well-known beach tunes, so they thought the soundtrack would be a hit, but that never happened. I guess the film, I guess you could say, made a little bit of a profit because it made 13 million, but it cost 12 million. So yeah, it didn't really do that well. And yeah, it's got Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello, who are playing similar characters to what they were known for back in the day. And you've got all these cameos by people like Pee Wee Herman, O.J. Simpson, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Don Adams, and Lori Loughlin is also in it as one of the characters. So yeah, it's a film that just for some reason people thought was going to be a big hit behind the scenes, but that never really came to be. Understandably so, because like, why the hell did you think like teen audiences in the 80s are like, yeah, I want to see a film starring Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon? Like most of the teens from that year or from the 80s were like, who the hell are these two?
Real quickly about Assassination. Apparently, this was done because he agreed to appear in Death Wish 4, but only once they signed him to a new 6-picture deal that would pay him $1 million per film. And the first of those was Assassination, which at first was called My Affair with the President's Wife, then The President's Wife, then Assassin, then Assassination.
Huh. Well, that explains his performance. This is like, I did it for the paycheck.
And like someone mentioned, the opening credits, they just stole music from Invasion USA.
Yeah.
In that film.
So, the next one I want to talk about is the TV movie Bates Motel. Like, I don't know. I think this is intended to be like a potential launching pad for a TV show.
It was.
I think it never happened.
Kind of like a
anthology.
Yeah, in a way. I'm trying to think of like a show. What was that one? The Wes Craven Diner?
Oh yeah, Nightmare Cafe.
Maybe like that, where you have like a setting.
Yeah.
I didn't care for Bates Motel. I thought it was really jaunty to me.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm curious about it because of because of Lori Petty, but yeah, I haven't heard the best things about it. That's for sure.
But for a good while, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's like the first half is kind of just this wandering around where he was a roommate with Norman Bates.
Yeah.
And because of that, he gets the motel. And then the second half, it's like another story about these dead teenagers. and there's I can't remember.
Yeah. Thank you for the donation, AMBW channel. The book, I'm in the process of basically just starting over. I just need to find the spare time to start writing it again. And thank you for the kind words.
Thank you.
If and I, writing a book is one of those things where I definitely want to do it, but I probably would just make it like a thing where it's mainly my voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
Makes sense.
that's just kind of my view on it. Nothing against Matt
No, I think
or
that makes
Jeffrey
sense.
or anything. It's just I just, if I'm writing a book, I want it to just be from my perspective.
Are there books where like three people write it? I don't even know much of any.
Yeah, that's
Usually
that's
is
not
one.
that's not a common thing. That's for sure.
Like even this is like one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also love to write a book like this too, but I don't know like how much money it costs,
Yeah.
color pictures, how much that I don't even know where to start, how to do it, the
So
time.
thoughts on Cherry 2000? That film is interesting. Now, I'm not a big fan of Cherry 2000. I like the concept of it. I think it has some potential. I think it's a fun idea. It's definitely something that seems to be a little bit more prevalent now with the evolution of these sex dolls, where it wouldn't really be that far fetched to see them get to the point where they are in Cherry 2000 in like 10 years. Um,
Mhm.
I like Melanie Griffith in it, and Tim Thomerson is not too bad. But it's one of those films where the tone is off. I don't know if it's trying to be a comedy or an action film. And the action, when it is there, it's not the best in the world. There's some decent stunt work, but you can definitely tell that Orion didn't have like a ton of money. And it's just one of those films where it's pretty below average, but interesting because of the concept and because of the setting and some of the performances. That's honestly a film that I could see getting a remake with like a little bit more money behind it, or
Mhm.
maybe a better director. What are your thoughts on Cherry 2000?
I don't remember anything about it. I really don't. I couldn't pick it out a lineup.
A lot of people don't remember anything about that movie. What are your thoughts on Batteries Not Included?
It's a. I don't mind the film. I liked it. It's a film that I did see as a kid, so there's a bit of nostalgia to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sweet little bit of a schmaltzy story that I think Spielberg had a hand producing it.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
it's supposed to,
intended to be a part of Amazing Stories, I guess.
yeah. I like the effects. I like the little spaceships. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
cool design, some nice effects work. The cast, Sally, a lot of them have passed away. Hume Cronin, Jessica
Yeah,
Tandy.
yeah.
Uh, Actually, let me check some real quick.
I haven't seen the film in ages. I remember seeing it on VHS or on cable, and I thought it was sweet. It had a nice amount of charm to it. Kind of a good companion piece to something like Harry and the Hendersons or Short Circuit, that kind of thing.
Okay, let's put it this way: the six people on the call sheet, the first six,
Mm-hmm.
only one person's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
Hume Cronin, Jessica Tandy from Cocoon passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Pena from Jacob's Ladder, she passed away in 2014.
That
Frank,
sucks because they never. That's another reason why it sucks that we didn't get a special edition for Jacob's Ladder, like a legitimate one, because didn't get to hear from her.
Frank McRae, who is the big guy prisoner with Stallone and
Oh
Lock.
yeah, and he was also the police captain in Last Action Hero.
Yeah, he passed away in 2021. Then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, Marco Carmine passed away almost after Leviathan came out.
Yeah, that was sad.
Like the only guy is this dentist guy. He's the only one alive. And this was, it's not 50 or 100 years ago. It's
No.
a long time, but still, it's crazy. But yeah, I remember having fun for what it is.
Yeah.
It's schmaltzy, but it's a family film. It's a feel-good movie. Brad Bird, I know I had a hand in writing
Yeah,
it.
it was his first script.
Yeah.
Pretty good for first script. Definitely showed that this is a guy that could potentially go on to bigger and brighter things in the future as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also definitely tell that this was intended to be a part of Amazing Stories initially. Like it does have that kind of like, there's barely enough there for a feature film. They stretched it out, but it still works all right. The Bedroom Window, I want to mention that one. A really overlooked, under the radar suspense thriller from 1987, directed by Curtis Hanson, starring Steve Guttenberg, Elizabeth McGovern, and Isabelle Huppert. I honestly was really surprised by that the first time I saw it on VHS. I was like, wow, the Goot in a suspense Hitchcockian thriller, and he was great in it. He did a really good job, and I'm a fan of that one. I'm really glad that it finally got a Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. And I would definitely recommend that one to anyone who's like a fan of Steve Guttenberg or anyone who's into checking out like a suspense thriller that is under the radar.
I agree. It's a good one. Show Steve Guttenberg in a different light.
And he also plays a character that you can definitely connect with and relate to, and you root for him. That courtroom scene is infuriating. It's like, how could you say that this is actually what you saw? Like, fuck you, Wallace Shawn. The Bedroom Window. The Believers. That's another thriller I want to mention from this year with Martin Sheen, Helen Shaver, Robert Loggia, Jimmy Smits. I love The Believers. I think it's a great film. That's another one. It would be nice to see it get another release on Blu-ray because it was a Twilight Time release and that's out of print.
Yeah.
I would say probably my favorite film starring Martin Sheen. I know he's in Apocalypse Now, and that's a good movie, but The Believers for me is a film that has a little bit more rewatchability factor for me. And it has one of the most tense and just horrifying scenes involving like spiders that I could think of. It's just got that. If you've seen the film, folks, Helen Shaver has got like this swelling on her face, and it's just jam packed full of fucking spiders. And the way that they did it, it was real fucking spiders, folks. Because there's no other way you could do it back in 1987. You ain't gonna do that with CGI or animation. You gotta do it for real. So, what are your thoughts on The Believers?
Like you said, it's a very good movie based around voodoo. And it's a film that's pretty much under the radar. It's not really a film people mention. Yeah, I can't remember the last time a person's ever mentioned.
I think I'm one of the only people that's reviewed the movie on YouTube, to be honest. It's not the most realistic film in the world, but I that's fine with me. I don't really have a problem with that. It does have some moments of genuine realism, though, like the electrocution death of Martin Sheen's wife.
Well, not to Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, whatever. I know they didn't like The Believers. They didn't believe in The Believers.
But there were a lot of voodoo movies at that time. Serpent and the Rainbow,
Yeah,
Heart, among others.
Bestseller. That's a John Flynn film that came out this year with James Woods and Brian Dennehy. I think that's another overlooked thriller. It's a good one. I wouldn't say it's like the best, but it's definitely a pretty decent one. Good performances by James Woods and Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, bestseller. Yeah, those two, the way they work together is what makes that film work well.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the nice dialogue with Larry Cohen writing.
Yeah, no, I know you're kidding, but yeah, it's definitely one of the worst movies in 1987. Rotor. Cole, most people are like, "What the fuck is Rotor?" You're not alone.
It's a very, 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 very low budget wannabe RoboCop kind of movie.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of low budget, Berserker. Want to mention that one? The fucking guys on ATVs with the song in the background. I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool guy. Cool dude or something. I'm a cool dude. Fuck that movie. It's got a Blu-ray for Vinegar Syndrome, and it's got all these features. It's like I don't give a shit unless somebody gives that to me for free. Then I'll add Berserker to my collection. About this was like Viking bear god or whatever, and starts killing a bunch of these teenagers in shitty fashion.
Well, isn't it like a bear, and then at the end, oh, never mind, it's just a guy in a crappy
Yeah,
bear
yeah,
claw thing
yeah,
that's fake out,
yeah. It is.
and there's like no gore and
The most memorable thing about that fucking movie is that I'm a cool dude.
I think that's what. Yeah, cool. I'm a cool dude.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. That, in my opinion, is one of the best sequels. And honestly underrated, because I've seen it get a lot of shit, which I don't get. I really don't understand. Especially nowadays. Oh, it's not that good, or it's pales in comparison to the first, or so on.
Well, they're wrong. It's more of an action movie because of Tony Scott. It's still funny. The characters still work well together, and it's a worthy sequel, and it's an entertaining action film.
Yeah. I think Beverly Hills Cop 2 is at points just as funny as the first film. There are a lot of great bits in it. The action is honestly a bit of an improvement over the action in the first film. Not saying the action in the first film was bad or anything. It's just Beverly Hills Cop 2 kind of upped the ante a little bit with the chases and the gunplay. And Axel was still Axel Foley, not giving a fuck, messing around, fucking with people. And you get Axel, and you get Rosewood, and you get Rosewood, who's like a fan of action movies and has a Cobra poster on his wall. So
that was a nice little detail to put into the character for the sequel. Thought that was a nice added touch to it.
For sure.
Good soundtrack.
Yeah, Kim, I do think Beverly Hills Cop 2 is the only well, at least when it comes to Beverly Hills Cop films, definitely. It's just the last good Beverly Hills Cop movie. Third film sucks.
If I were to guess, I would say for 87, my two favorites would be RoboCop and Monster Squad.
Yeah, those would definitely be really up there. Inner Space would be up there for me as well.
My two favorites is probably
Predator.
My two favorites, probably Predator and The Running Man, is probably my two favorites.
Yeah, those would be up there for me as well. Going back down this list here,
and Evil Dead 2.
Blood Diner. I think that'd be a fun one to mention. That's a kooky, weird ass movie, but I like Blood Diner.
Yeah,
it's unique.
Yeah, I mean, might have been on my previous channel, but I think I reviewed Blood Diner, and I think the director commented on it.
Yeah, Jackie Kong.
Yeah, and I think she had like a website, and she mentioned it was like a long time ago,
and that was before it got a Blu-ray from Vestron.
Yeah, well before it. And I mean, you got a guy who gets his head, what do you call it, deep fried, and then they knock it off easily.
Yeah. You got the woman that they create that has like a, what is it, like a vagina with like teeth in its stomach or something.
Pretty
Kind
much.
yeah.
Pretty much that's what it is, yeah.
You have a hilariously over the top sequence at like an aerobics class where it's just a bloodbath.
Yeah, I mean, even has a good tagline: first they greet you, then they eat you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan of Blood Diner. I like that one. The Brave Little Toaster, I want to mention that one. It's a Disney film, but that film is pretty dark actually for a Disney animated movie. Like there's some really dark stuff in that. You know, about appliances that have souls that, you know, get sent to the junkyard, and one of them I think is contemplating suicide, which is just some insane shit for a kids film.
All
And it
right.
has some nightmarish visuals, like some visuals that like a lot of kids who grew up watching that are like, man, that film gave me nightmares. And it's about, you know, it's a brave little toaster, like the name, like whatever, it's just some kids cartoon
Right.
about a talking toaster, but like it has a lot of like adult stuff in it.
I haven't seen the film, so I can't comment on that.
Let's see here. Creep Show 2. One more step and blam! This hair is gonna get me paid and laid. Creep Show 2. I like Creep Show 2. I would say I probably like the film as a whole more than Matt does, because I actually like the Hitchhiker segment. It's not as good as Creep Show. Creep Show to me is still like the best horror anthology and one of my all-time favorite films, and probably my favorite horror film of all time. But Creep Show 2 is still fun. I really like The Raft. The Raft is a great segment. Some good effects. The characters were likable enough.
I disagree on the characters. I like the effects, but the characters all seem either poorly acted or just
Yeah, I know. But
jerkwads or something.
that's why I said likable enough. Like not to the point where, you know, I love these characters, but you know, there's something about them that there's charisma or some kind of personality. But really the showcase is for the effects by K&B. Old Chief Woodenhead, I have grown to like that one. Mainly because of you know, one more step and blam, like that guy was great. And also just I like the idea of this wooden cigar store Indian that comes to life and gets revenge for the death of this kind couple. One of them, it was George Kennedy. George Kennedy played the kind old man who ran the shop. And I thought the effects of Old Chief Woodenhead were really good. It was, you know, it was a guy in a suit most of the time, but the makeup was so good that, you know, it actually did look like wood. It had, you know, a certain stiffness to it. And I like the Hitchhiker. I think that's actually a pretty solid segment, but I know Matt's not a fan of it.
No. Not really, no.
So with Creepshow 2, for me, I like all three of the segments. I like the raft the most, but I like all three of them. The animated stuff I'm not really big on, but I do like the segments. Why are you not a fan of the Hitchhiker again?
As I'm watching the film, I don't care about the girl. and the guy was just more annoying than anything. Thanks for the ride, late.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of got the point of it, but I thought after 5 minutes it kind of got old. Like,
Mhm.
okay, he got hit. Thanks for the ride. He got hit again. Thanks for the ride.
Yeah.
I don't think it served its running time
Uh-huh.
as effective as any other possible stories could have.
Mhm.
There's
Would
other
you have
stories
liked
that
to have
are
seen
down.
the pinfall segment?
What's that
That was
one?
gonna be that was a segment that was gonna be in Creepshow 2, but they didn't
Is
have
that
the money.
the bowling alley?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that one sounded more intriguing to me, at least.
Hmm.
But I did I prefer, like, with other anthologies, like I prefer Cat's Eye more. I prefer Tales from the Hood more. I
Yeah.
prefer other anthologies and stories more than that.
I mean, it's definitely better than Creepshow 3.
Well,
So
yeah,
bad it's killing both of us. It kills both of us.
well,
Kills
that's true.
everyone in the stream.
Yeah,
Uh
that's true.
um yeah, the thing in the raft, I think it was just like some oil slick or something. Like it wasn't really explained what it was.
Pretty much a giant garbage bag.
Yeah.
But I think it is supposed to be like an oil slick type of thing that's alive.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's supposed to be ambiguous.
Um Matt, have you seen The Curse? Did you see that one with Will Wheaton?
Yeah, I remember not minding for what it is. It's based on a
Short
um,
story.
yeah, and although it's definitely a film that tries to have the all in the kitchen sink in there with various
Yeah.
either animals attacking or the family going crazy or a little bit of creature stuff. I thought Will Wheaton was fine. I mean, this is right after Stand By Me, so this is when I think he's one of those people that's a better kid actor than adult actor.
Yeah.
And you also have forget his name, one of the guys from Dukes of Hazzard. He's in the
Oh
film.
yeah, yeah. Can bring
And
it up real quick.
that's directed by David Teeth,
Yeah,
one of the stars of the original Firestarter.
Claude Akins.
No. That's an older actor.
Oh,
That's not the guy from
John
Duke.
Schneider.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, but Claude Akins looks like a guy. He seems like a guy that might have been in Dukes of Hazzard, just not one of the stars.
No, I mean that Claude Akins. He plays the father,
Mhm.
who's one of the people that goes crazy. Yeah, it's fine for what it is. I remember enjoying it. Some of the effects work, and it wasn't too
I don't
boring.
mind it. I actually like the sequel more because the sequel's just fucking crazy and just batshit nutso. But I do like The Curse. I think it's a decent enough film. Um,
And they kind
I
of adapted that story again for the Nick Cage film Color Out of Space.
Yeah, because that's the short story that it's based on.
Yeah.
Um, Death Wish 4. What are your thoughts on that one?
I enjoyed it. I do think it was a step down from Death Wish 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. Death Wish 3 is badass and awesome, and like one of the best action films of the 80s. So,
But Death Wish 4 is still fun for what it is. As he's kind of playing a little bit Yojimbo, where he plays off against both gangs, the one to kill the other off while
yeah,
he's on the sidelines. The ending is a bit weird
I think a
because
better version, like a more satisfying kind of film like that, playing both sides for me, was Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis. He's playing both sides.
I agree with that. Yeah, I put Last Man Standing above it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. There's some decent bits of action. You get some of that classic canon action
Yeah,
style. J. Lee Thompson worked with Charles Bronson a lot, so he knew how to make Charles Bronson work.
yeah,
Where this is a guy that worked with him on Evil That Men Do and Murphy's Law, 10 to Midnight, some of his better ones. And before this, he directed Firewalker,
yeah.
Chuck Norris. So it's still, I'd probably say it's probably the second best Death Wish after the third one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm with you though with the whole what happens at the end where You know, Charles Bronson kind of fucked up a little bit there. Of course, he
Yeah,
could
he
have.
warned him.
Yeah, he did.
He
Sure
warned
did.
him. He says, "Don't come closer, I'll kill her." So he does it anyway, and he kills her. And he even says, "I warned you." He blows up the guy with a grenade launcher.
That was awesome, though, when he blew him up.
Yeah,
With
that was awesome. But it's like, yeah, he fucked up badly.
yeah, John P. Ryan. Like he was a pretty underrated character actor, if you ask me. He's kind of up there with like Richard Lynch and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's definitely a capable. He was a capable actor.
He was a great villain in Avenging Force as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Have you seen Disorderlies? That Fat Boys movie?
I think I have, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it either. Dolls is a good one to talk about. Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stuart Gordon.
Yeah. Dolls is a film. I think it was in the 101 most inherited horror films list. It might have been. I checked it out and I was pretty surprised by it. I thought it was creepy. I thought it had some nice, moody, eerie atmosphere, a interesting concept, some pretty like scary visuals, or at least a concept of like someone who gets killed, and then that it's just the image of the girl who got killed, and they just put doll's eyes in her head. Like I thought that was effective, even though it's just a simple thing of just removing somebody's eyes and just putting doll's eyes in there. I always thought that was a pretty striking visual. And some really just crazy stuff, like a fucking killer teddy bear.
That was pretty crazy.
And like the ending is definitely something that is way out there. You normally don't see stuff like that. It's a very creative film, and also a good pace to it as well. Like it's not very long at all. And I've always loved the poster and the tagline. So it's a shame that the Blu-ray's been out of print for years. That was one of the first Scream Factory Blu-rays I got because I was such a legitimately big fan of the movie. So I made sure to get it off eBay or whatever. And I think it was a review copy because it had like a hole punch in the cover art.
With that said, I had a long day, Sally. I've tried to keep my eyes open. And
No worries at all. No worries at all.
But bro, I have to leave you guys.
Okay.
I got up I couldn't sleep, and I got up like at 6 a.m. and then
I feel you. Like I had a rough time, getting some sleep last night as well. So,
but yeah, you guys enjoy my stream. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, thank you for joining me for just a little bit, and have a good night. Maybe have you
pray.
Yeah, maybe I'll have you come on and another time, and maybe talk about some more films of 1987. So,
all right, see you. You have a good night, man.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
So, I'll just answer some questions, I guess, because I was mainly doing the 1987 thing, for Matt, so we could like discuss it together. But if you have any other 1987 films you want to bring up, then I could talk about those. I'm just not going to go through the list. I will check out the comments here, see if there's any other questions or something. I know people have mentioned Superman 4. Yeah, The Quest for Peace. That film is awful. It's a super pile of shit. But just like with Batman and Robin, I did watch that one the most growing up. So I do have some nostalgia for it, but that's kind of about it. That film, I watched it fairly recently. It definitely doesn't hold up. The effects are terrible. The plot is bad. I don't mind the idea of Superman getting involved with the nuclear arms race and stuff like that. I think there's some potential there for some interesting drama, but I don't think the right writers were behind it. And yeah, Nuclear Man and his Lee press-on nails of death as a joke, and Lenny Luthor, played by John Cryer. That honestly is probably the most annoying character he's ever played in his entire career. Uh, and Christopher Reeve, he tries, but there's only so much he could do with the material. So, yeah, Superman 4 is a super pile of shit. Definitely one of the worst films in 1987. What was my reaction when I first saw Hellraiser? Uh, it honestly left me speechless at times, because this was when I was first starting to watch horror films, and I remember checking it out from like the library, and in particular the stuff with Skinless Frank like just floored me. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, I'd never seen anything like that. So yeah, that was my first reaction to seeing Hellraiser, and immediately after I saw the whole thing, I loved it. I really liked Hellraiser. It reminds me, I need to review those movies sometime, because I even have the Scarlet box from Era Video, and I have that documentary as well, the Leviathan documentary. The Princess Bride, classic, good one. I didn't grow up with it though, like a lot of other people did, but I have seen it a few times, and I do enjoy it. I have fun with it. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like the film. The Stepfather. Yeah, I have seen The Stepfather's, Chaz, and it's definitely one of the more underrated films in 1987. That's for sure. Great performance by Terry O'Quinn as the psycho stepdad. Um, I know some other people have mentioned, of course, RoboCop. I mean, here he is right over there. He even talks. That's actually a toy that was released around the time of RoboCop 3. My dad got it for me at like KB Toys. It was on clearance. So this is one of the this is a vintage toy. It's from my childhood. Um, so yeah, RoboCop classic. I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said by me or anyone else when it comes to that movie? Um, The Monster Squad, I know somebody mentioned that one. Another classic. Love that film. Another film I grew up with. Honestly, The Monster Squad is probably one of the first horror films that I saw, because it's got horror elements, and it's PG-13, so I was still able to watch it because my parents wouldn't let me watch R-rated movies. So The Monster Squad is a film that for many, many years, like, I wanted to get that for myself because I love the movie so much, but I could never find it anywhere. I could never find the VHS at Goodwill. I could never add it to my collection. So once it was announced that Lionsgate was doing the DVD, it was one of the first DVDs I ever remember buying with my own money. Like, I walked all the way from my house to uh, my local Fred Meyer and got it. Like, it wasn't a short walk. So that was my dedication level for the Monster Squad, and I'm still just a huge fan of that. One of my favorite memories of seeing a film in the theater is seeing the Monster Squad in 35 millimeter with Fred Decker in attendance. I got to meet him. I got to shake his hand. I got his autograph. He actually autographed a laser disc of the Monster Squad for me. So yeah, I love that movie. Wolfman's got nards. Uh, I would say when it comes to like my favorite character, like it's a tie between like Sean and Rudy. I love Rudy though. I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I? So yeah, huge fan of the Monster Squad. Hey, that's another good one, Over the Top. I love Over the Top. Um, my dad is a truck driver, so I can connect with that film in a deeper way, and also because of the fact that my dad is kind of similar to Lincoln Hawk, so it's kind of a similar sort of dynamic. A sack of marbles? No. Big ideas. That's just like a random bag of stuff I haven't put somewhere else. I probably should get rid of that, but it's been up there for like years, and I've just been lazy and haven't done anything with it. I think there's like some cables or something in there. I honestly don't remember what is even in there. Trying to see here's any other sort of better Kevin Peter Hall creature, Harry or the Predator. I'm gonna go with the Predator. I mean, no offense to Harry, I know that's Rick Baker's favorite makeup effects creation because he's said so in person when I met him during a screening of Harry and the Hendersons. Uh, but yeah, I would say Predator. Speaking of 87 Predator, a fucking classic. Love that movie. I also really like The Running Man. I've shown this before, but why the fuck not again? This is the 4K media book of The Running Man. It's a German release. Say The Running Man 4K. Thoughts on Throw Mama from the Train? I haven't seen that in forever, but I do remember not minding it. But it's been a really long time since I've seen it last. I know there was a comment from Alex. Yeah, Alex here. Ever seen Breaking In? Yeah, I have. And I really like that film. I caught it on cable years ago, not really knowing at all what it was. And I was really quite intrigued by it. I thought it was fun. And I actually bought the film on Blu-ray. It has a Blu-ray from Kino Lorber, actually. So if you're a fan of that one, you can pick that up. Pred, I don't even know how many movies I have. Too fucking many. That's the truth. I mean, this bed right here, it's raised up. I've got a custom bed frame, and underneath it is like multiple totes of like VHS and Blu-rays. I have like numerous totes full of DVDs. I got other shelves full of DVDs. I got other stuff everywhere. Yeah. One of these days, I will try to do a room tour. I think that'd be a fun thing to do. What about the Untouchables or Spaceballs? I haven't seen the Untouchables in forever, so I can't really say a lot about it. But I definitely want to get the 4K that's coming out. Spaceballs, classic. I love Spaceballs. It's one of my favorite comedies. It's one of my favorite films. I watched that film numerous times on VHS and DVD growing up. Huge fan. I'm honestly probably an even bigger fan of Spaceballs than the film that it's a parody of, or the franchise it's a parody of, Star Wars. Because I grew up watching Star Wars. I like the Star Wars films, but Spaceballs, I just watched that just numerous, countless times, and I honestly can never get tired of that movie. Just hilarious. Rick Moranis is so great in his dark helmet, and Bill Pullman as Lone Star, and John Candy as Barf, and even Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vespa. And that's definitely my favorite Mel Brooks film as well. All right, Cole. How would I rate Titanic? It's been a while since I've seen it last, but I saw it in the theater, and I remember honestly liking the film, but I haven't seen it in forever. Uh, 3 or 3.5, probably out of 5. My, Are you talking about like the cursing in Spaceballs? Um, yeah, that film has a surprising amount of adult humor in it for a movie that's like rated PG. Keep firing, assholes. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Monteval. You were talking about you're talking about The Last Jedi. Ah, yeah, that's a great pick, Chaz, for 87. It's a really underrated thriller with some action, directed by Walter Hill, starring Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, bunch of other actors. Um, got a Blu-ray recently from Vestron, and it's very affordable. And I would definitely recommend it if you like Walter Hill, or you like action thrillers. Highly recommend Extreme Prejudice. Lethal Weapon, yeah, another classic, another great film from this year. Um, I would say for me, it's still the best of Lethal Weapon film, the first one. Um, that one is quite a fun action film. Definitely improved upon in a lot of ways, reinvented the buddy cop genre, and great script, good characters, great bits of action, a great villain in Gary Busey. Um, yeah, that's a classic. Thoughts on Mannequin? Uh, I enjoy Mannequin. Not just the theme song, by Starship, Jefferson Starship. I think they did that one. Um, Nothing's gonna stop us now. I like Andrew McCarthy in it. I don't mind Kim Cattrall. I think it's actually a pretty decent romantic comedy with a fun idea. I even can watch the sequel with Zach Galligan just because it's just one of those sequels where it's like, huh, really, Mannequin 2? And the sequel also goes really out there. That it's one of those sequels where it's even more zany and even more ridiculous than the first film. Oh yeah, of course, Evil Dead too, definitely. Dead by Dawn, one of the best sequels, one of the best horror films, definitely one of the best films in 1987, and probably one of the best examples of how you do a horror comedy the right way, where you have moments that are genuinely scary, but then you have moments that are hilarious. And just a very creative film too, in terms of the direction by Sam Raimi and a lot of the other effects. Favorite Cronenberg flick. I'm probably gonna have to go with The Fly. I've always been a huge fan of The Fly, so yeah, I'd probably go with The Fly. Good Morning Vietnam. That's a good one. It's a good drama with some comedic bits. Definitely features one of Robin Williams's best performances. Speed of good performances, Street Smart has a couple of them from Christopher Reeve and Morgan Freeman. Definitely one of the more underrated dramas from that year, and then probably of the 80s, because a lot of people don't talk about it. It didn't really do that well. I know Christopher Reeve mainly did it. Well, that was his passion project. He only did Superman 4 because Canon was willing to fund Street Smart. So that's the only reason why he was it. But the only reason why he did Superman 4. Lost my train of thought there for some reason. Dream Warriors. I think that didn't that come out in 87? Um Classic. Well, I definitely probably say my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. Um it started the trend of Freddy being more humorous, more tongue in cheek, and more in tune with the MTV style, but I, I didn't mind it. And definitely did help that you got Heather Langenkamp back and so on. And definitely has a lot of great kills. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Cole, I'm not doing that. No offense. Like I don't even know where to begin. I can't even do a good Shrek impression. So I'm not gonna do that. Trying to think of other stuff from 1987. Of course, The Running Man, I already talked about that one. Over the Top, that's a good one. Inner Space. I want to mention Inner Space because I think Inner Space is a really underrated gem that not enough people talk about. Features Oscar-winning visual effects because the effects for that film won the Oscar for that year. Just really stupendous, great performances by the cast: Martin Short, Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan. You even have I'm trying to remember his name. Like, it was the guy who was, I think it was the same guy from the Road Warrior. Like, he was in it as Ivo, I think. I need to double check that real quick. I think it was Vernon. I think it was Vernon Wells. Yeah, Vernon Wells. Yep, I was right. Vernon Wells. He played Igo in that. Really creative movie, and honestly, just a blast. Love that film. Definitely recommend that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I agree. Over the Top is underrated. Fatal Attraction. I won't be ignored, Dan. That poor rabbit. Fatal Attraction is a really solid erotic thriller. Definitely one of the better films of that genre. Roxanne. The one with C. Martin, where it's a remake of Cyrano de Bergerac or whatever. He's got the really long nose. I didn't mind that one. That was fine. Some Kind of Wonderful. Haven't seen it yet. I did get it on Blu-ray though. Terror Tunes. It's not a 1987 film, but I have not seen Terror Tunes yet. Also, Valhalla. I haven't seen The Boys yet. I want to though. I've heard some really good things about it. It looks like a show that could be up my alley. Yeah, I definitely haven't seen it yet though. Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2. I actually like it more than the first. The first is not bad, but it's just kind of a meh slasher. Hello, Mary Lou Prom Night 2, I like because it's unique, it's inventive. Yeah, it's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street with some of the stuff, but I like the fact that it has a lot of creativity and it's different in that regard. Which movie is worse, Jaws 4 or Howling 7? Howling 7? I mean, it's Howling fucking 7. I mean, Howling 7 is horrible and one of the most horrible films I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, April Fool's Day? Yeah, that is definitely one of a kind horror film. Really enjoyed that one. It's Alive. Yeah, that was released in I think the third one was released in the 80s. That came out in 1988 though. What's my favorite modern day action movie? Probably the John Wick trilogy. I know it's kind of cheating, but that's probably the John Wick trilogy. Dirty Dancing. I know that was a huge hit in 1987, but I've never really been a huge fan of the film. Like, I don't mind it, Jennifer Grey, Patrick Swayze, got some good songs, but this has never been one of my favorites. Thoughts on Project X? I don't have any thoughts. Other than I'm curious about that one. I have it on DVD. I know my friend Matt's a big fan of it. I just haven't really had the opportunity to check the film out for myself. Oh yeah, of course. The Lost Boys. That's another film from 1987, which is a classic. Great direction by Joel Schumacher. Some good performances by the cast. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Jason Patrick. Good score, good soundtrack, some good effects. Is Roadhouse really that good? I think it is. I think it's a really good action movie. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's so bad it's good either. I just think it's a badass action film. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, it's just so bad it's good. It's awful, but it's enjoyable. Like, no, I legitimately really like the movie. Yeah, Raising Arizona. That's another one from 1987. Huge fan of that. I think it's a really great comedy. It's funny, definitely very quirky. Uh, your typical kind of Coen Brothers kind of thing. One of my favorite Nicolas Cage performances. Holly Hunter is also really good in it, as well as John Goodman and Randall Tex Cobb as the bounty hunter. Always really enjoyed that one. I highly recommend Raising Arizona if you haven't seen it. Yeah, Best of the Best 2 was definitely pretty solid. Definitely a solid martial arts flick. And this is a 90s film, I think. Looking through the list of films that came out in 1987. Oh yeah, Witches of Eastwick. I really like that one as well. I think that's a really clever, smart comedy with some drama, with some good performances, a great cast, good direction. One of my favorite Jack Nicholson roles. Dragnet, I want to mention that one. I think that one's pretty overlooked with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd. I never was really a big fan of the show, but I've always had fun with Dragnet. I think it's got a good amount of energy to it. I think it's clever. I like the idea about them going up against some group of pagans. And I thought that Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks had some great chemistry. What's my favorite Robin Williams movie? It's tough, but because there's so many Robin Williams movies that I love, like Toys. I think that's so underrated. It's one of his best performances. That film creates a world that is completely unique to film. Just some absolutely astonishing production and art direction in that film. And Mrs. Doubtfire, I used to watch that all the time growing up as a kid. I really like Jack. I had another one I grew up with. But I guess if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Hook. One of the first Robin Williams films I saw, and it's a film that still resonates with me. I still love that film. Just a wondrous movie. Which is a better 80s Patrick Swayze movie, Dirty Dancing or Roadhouse? Dirty Dancing is definitely not the one that comes to mind. It's definitely Roadhouse for me. Thoughts and Casualties of War. That's a gem. I agree with you. I think Michael J. Fox definitely had potential as a dramatic actor. He definitely showed it in that film. Alongside I know who it is. Come on, man. Sean Penn. Alongside Sean Penn. Good direction as well. That was a really strong drama. Yeah, The Running Man, classic. Love that movie. One of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Here is your friend Sub-Zero. Now Plane Zero. Yeah, I agree. I do think Hook is underrated. I don't know why people hate it either. It's another one where my friend Matt's not really a big fan of it, and that's cool. I have no problem with that. We agree to disagree. I love Hook. I've always loved Hook. It's actually my favorite Peter Pan story is Hook. And Steven Spielberg isn't a fan either, which is a shame. And of course, yeah, Full Metal Jacket. That's another really good one. I think a good double feature of 1987 war dramas would be Full Metal Jacket and Casualties of War. Oh yeah, The Living Daylights also came out this year. My favorite James Bond movie. Uh, Timothy Dalton was terrific in that film. Even had a fun, catchy theme by Aha, which I actually learned how to play in piano, but I don't think I know how to play it anymore. I don't think it's that controversial opinion, Valhalla, because I think that the film is much better than the book. So you're not alone on that. Is Rescuers Down Under the most underrated Disney film? I think it's definitely up there for sure. I think DuckTales is the Search for the Lost Lamp. That's also another underrated Disney movie. Uh, and I think the Goofy movie doesn't get as much praise as I think it should, although it's got a cult following, that's for sure. And if you're talking about animated movies, yeah, but like there's other live action films like um The Rocketeer for one. That's definitely an underrated Disney movie. Um yeah, there's a lot of films that Disney has done, especially from that time period in the 80s that are underrated. Like Something Wicked This Way Comes or Watcher in the Woods. In 1987. Yeah, you've got Masters Universe, which I like Masters Universe. It's not perfect, but I enjoy it as a Star Wars clone mixed with He-Man mythos. And the thing is, I never really grew up watching He-Man cartoons. So I wasn't one of those people that saw the film and was like, "Oh, it's not like the cartoon" or whatever. Cuz I didn't grow up with He-Man. I did grow up with He-Man, but I grew up with the movie. I still remember my mom buying the film on VHS at Fred Meyer. When there wasn't a DVD. But then I also remember buying the film on DVD later. Of course, now it's on Blu-ray. And honestly, I would like to see it get a collector's edition sometime, just to hear from Dolph Lundgren, to see some of the. I think there's an interesting behind-the-scenes backstory about it, because this was supposed to be like Canon's last gasp, or their last attempt to try to keep their company afloat. And it's also an example of Canon just really stretching themselves way too thin, because they put so much into this film in terms of this being the one that'll get them out of their financial trouble, and it didn't do well, and it just put them in more financial trouble. And it was just a case of bad timing, because He-Man, by the time they got the rights and by the time they made the movie, He-Man was just not as popular of a franchise anymore. So, but I've always had fun with Masters Universe. Uh, da-da-da. Aha, I definitely got to mention this one, The Hidden. The Hidden, another really underrated, overlooked gem of a movie. I love The Hidden. Michael Nori, Kyle MacLachlan, they had good chemistry with one another. It's got a lot of creativity. The direction is energetic and has some really great moments. The action, when it is there, is awesome. Just a really cool idea too. This alien that just jumps from body to body, and yeah, I love The Hidden. It's definitely one of my favorite sci-fi action films. And highly recommend it. I also recommend you not watch The Hidden 2. Don't even bother with The Hidden 2. Just stick with The Hidden. What direction do I think they should go for Bond? At this point, because they technically killed him off, spoiler, for those that hadn't seen No Time to Die. I'm fine with them just retiring Bond films for a while. Just take it easy, take a break. Maybe do like a spin-off of like a different Bond character or something. But when it comes to like 007, like just take a break. How many movies do I watch in one day? Depends. Depends on how much time I have. Sometimes there's days where I work from like 10 to like 9 o'clock at night. So I only watch like one movie if I even have the energy to watch one movie at that point. But there are times where I've watched like 3, 4 movies in one day. I try to do like at least one. But anyway, I don't really know what else to talk about. I know there's maybe some other films in 1987, of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is a classic comedy. One of my favorite John Candy films, one of my favorite Steve Martin films. The two of them are just great together. Three Men and a Baby. That was actually the highest grossing film of that year. Doesn't have a Blu-ray. Overboard. Really like that one with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. The two make a really cute pair. Wall Street. It's a great drama, great thriller. Oh, it's not really a thriller, but it's more of a drama, but with just some absolutely great, just fantastic performances by the cast. Moonstruck, I like that one with Cher and Nicolas Cage. Teen Wolf 2, like I'm like one of the only people that can actually watch that movie and enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, it's lame, but I did grow up with it, and I guess I could just enjoy it as a time waster. Teen Wolf 2. Yeah, it's also one of the only, it's like the only film where you will get to see a werewolf boxing. It was so weird that they went from basketball to boxing. One last film from that year I want to mention is Steel Dawn, another Patrick Swayze film. Really like that one. Has some really good sword fighting in it. And some good action. Definitely low budget. Good performance by Patrick Swayze. Essentially, it's like a post-apocalyptic remake of Shane, but with swords. And Patrick Swayze's a badass in that, and I definitely would recommend checking out Steel Dawn sometime. Yeah, I agree. Last Action Hero didn't deserve the hate. Opera, another good one. Dario Argento film. I'm hoping that's one of the rumored 4Ks that I'm hearing about because I wasn't able to get the Scorpion release. Yeah, I agree. It does not need a remake, especially not with fucking Kevin Hart. Do I find myself liking Bill Murray less? It just depends. I've heard he's kind of an asshole, but I have lost a little bit of respect for him considering how everything ended with him and Harold. But I still like Bill. I still like his talent. I still like a lot of the films he's in, but I'm not gonna say I love Bill. But I still like Bill. Um but yeah, I'm starting to run low on steam. I haven't really had a lot to eat today, so I probably need to get something in my stomach. But it's been fun. Thank you for joining me on this stream, and until next time, I'll see you later. See you.